I'm so happy you're here to read with me today. Our story is called Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. This story is written by Kevin Hanks. I'm so excited to read it with you. I love school. I love school too. Lily loved school. She loved the pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. She loved the way her books went clickety-click down the hall, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. Here she says, "Mine. Straws make everything taste better." For you. It looks like Lily loves school a lot. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts, he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. "Wow," said Lily. That was just about all she could say. Wow. Instead of "Greetings, students," or "Good morning, pupils," Mr. Slinger winked and said, "Howdy." He thought that desks in rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. "I want to be a teacher when I grow up," said Lily. "Me too," said her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. Wow, Mr. Slinger sounds like a really awesome teacher, doesn't he? At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. "I am the teacher," she told her baby brother, Julius. "Listen up." Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. "What's with Lily?" asked her mother. "I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver." "Or a diva," said her father. "It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger," said her mother. "Wow," said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawings and writings. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. "Wow," said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. At the very last second, Mr. Slinger saved the cold, starving elderly. That's one of the stories she wrote. Looks like Lily really does love school, and she wants to be just like her teacher, Mr. Slinger. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Oh, bus duty is one of Mr. Slinger's responsibilities, something that he needs to do to keep the school safe and to make sure everything runs the way it's supposed to. Lily raised her hand in class more than anyone else, even if she didn't know the answer. Oh, we know that raising hands is one of our school rules, one of our classroom rules and responsibilities. It helps to keep everything fair and keeps the classroom safe too. She volunteered to stay after school to clap erasers. That is so helpful. Lily seems really responsible. Lily says, "I want to be a teacher when I grow up," said Lily. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her Grammy over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses, complete with glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters, and best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. Lily looks really excited about these fun things she got. Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Let's be considerate of our classmates. Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Wait until recess or sharing time. But Lily could not wait. What do you think's going to happen? The glasses were so glittery, the quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. Look, Lily whispered fiercely. Look, everyone! Look what I've got! Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. Is Lily doing a good job listening? Is she being responsible right now? She's in charge of her choices and her actions, and she's not really listening to what Mr. Slinger said, is she? I wonder what's going to happen. I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day, said Mr. Slinger. They'll be safe there. Then you can take them home. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone, her quarters were gone, her purple plastic purse was gone. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. She thought and she thought and she thought, and then she became angry. She thought and she thought and she thought some more, and then she became furious. She thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer, and then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Wow. Lily doesn't look very happy, does she? Oh, this is what she made. Big, fat, mean Mr. Stealing Teacher. He has claws, he's bad, he's a thief. Wanted by the FBI. P.S. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up. Oh, that's not very kind, is it? Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked this drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. When all the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her her purple plastic purse back. It's a beautiful purse, said Mr. Slinger. Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up, Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. Why do you think Lily keeps saying she doesn't want to be a teacher anymore? Do you think it was because she was sad that Mr. Slinger took her things away, even though she wasn't listening? She sounds very upset. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of the purse. Oh, look at Lily's reactions. What do you think she's thinking? How does she feel? Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lilly ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Why do you think Lilly feels so bad? Do you think she regrets this? Do you think she wishes she had been more responsible and listened to her teacher, who is showing her so much kindness? Let's see what happens next. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lilly decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. I'll stay here a million years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything always happen to me? 1051, 1052, 1099. That night, Lilly drew a nice picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him too. Lilly was really, really, really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky bad brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiley face down on everyone and everything, and even the bugs and worms. The end. Oh, here's the picture that says, "Here's Mr. Slinger. Listen up. I forgive everyone. Kind, good, nice. Could be principal. I'm really, 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 really sorry. I'm an author." It seems like Lilly really wishes that she had been more responsible in the moment. Being responsible is all about listening to our teachers and making the right decisions so that we can take care of ourselves and take care of others. I wonder what Lilly's going to do when she goes back to school. Lilly's mother wrote a note, and Lilly's father baked some tasty snacks for Lilly to take to school the next day. "I think Mr. Slinger will understand," said Lilly's mother. "I know he will," said Lilly's father. The next morning, Lilly got to school early. "These are for you," Lilly said to Mr. Slinger, "because I'm really, 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 really sorry." I think Lilly feels so bad about what she did. Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture, and he read the note, and he sampled the snacks. Yum, yum. "Wow," said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. What do you think we should do with this? He's holding up the first picture that Lilly gave him. "Could we just throw it away?" asked Lilly. "Excellent idea," said Mr. Slinger. During sharing time, Lilly demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star sunglasses. "It's like having an extra pocket with a radio inside. 3 quarters are even better than $1 because they make noise. Glamorous protection from the harmful rays." Then she did a little performance using them as props. "It's called interpretive dance," said Lilly. Mr. Slinger joined in. "Wow," said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lilly's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lilly's snacks to everyone's delight. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" asked Mr. Slinger. "A teacher!" everyone responded. Lilly's response was the loudest. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. As the pupils filed out of the classroom, Lilly held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lilly ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy, and she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer or a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva or a pilot or a hairdresser or a scuba diver. Oh, wow. Lily has so many big dreams, doesn't she? What a really special story. I learned so many things about reading Lily's purple plastic purse. We saw that sometimes being responsible is doing things that we can and should do. We have to listen to rules, and we really should listen to our teacher. What happened when Lily didn't listen to her teacher? I know that Mr. Slinger was a little upset. Lily sharing her purple plastic purse before she was supposed to was really disruptive. It made it hard for the other students to listen, and Mr. Slinger wasn't able to teach. Lily wasn't being responsible in that moment. Instead, when she was responsible and apologized and spread kindness, we see that there was a much better result. When Lily was responsible and she listened, she got to share at the right time. And then everyone got to enjoy her purple plastic purse and all of her fun things. Do you see how in school we have the opportunity to be responsible by listening and having courage to do the right thing, apologizing even when it's really hard? Lily taught us so much about responsibility, and I loved reading this story with you. I'll see you next time.